Everyone wants to know if Warzone 2 is good or even worth playing. At first glance, it seems like a casual BR with some fun games on the side like DMZ, which is an extraction shooter, and Plunder, which is a money-grabbing experience trying to see who can get the most cash. I've been playing Battle Royale games for about 7 years, and most of that time has gone into Fortnite, Apex, and of course Warzone. I have a lot of hours in games like CSGO, Valorant, StarCraft, Overwatch, and tons of others. I mention this to let you know that I have a lot of experience when it comes to playing multiplayer games. For those of you who don't know what a Battle Royale is, you jump from a plane on a huge map with up to 3 teammates and try to loot up and survive. The storm or gas is constantly closing, forcing you to fight other teams and also forcing enemies to fight each other. The way you win is to be the last team or person standing. Warzone does a great job with its matchmaking, making you go up against players who are closer to your skill level. Unless you're playing with some teammates who are much better than you, generally you're going to get pretty good lobbies. For the game being free, there are a lot of game modes that you actually have at your disposal to be able to play. There's Battle Royale, which seems to be the most popular because it has a lot of different game modes within it, like Resurgence, solos, duos, and quads, and a bunch of different maps to play through. There's another main game mode called DMZ, which is an extraction shooter. You land in and try to gather loot with a few enemies on the map, but there are AIs and there are cooperative missions you can play with your teammates. There's also rank mode for competitive players to see how far they can grind up the ladder. One issue new players might run into is leveling up guns. When you're new to the game, you don't have many guns leveled up and you might not understand the loadout system that the game has. Leveling up guns has been a core part of Call of Duty, and since Warzone is an extension of Call of Duty, of course the same mechanic applies here. The reason leveling up your guns is important is to have the best attachments you can when you're getting into fights. The worst part about this method for a free player is that they actually won't be able to level up their guns super easily, because generally the fastest way to level up your guns is to own the multiplayer, which you will have to buy the full game for, which is $60. There are many ways to level up your guns without having the multiplayer, but it does take a little bit longer and it's a lot more grinding. Moving on to the overall gameplay, which you can actually see in the background of this video. You can get as much action as you want rushing teams and trying to get kills, or hiding in buildings and trying to play slow. Warzone is one of the fastest paced Battle Royale games that has more players than almost every other BR. In the Battle Royale Fortnite, there are times where you're running around the map for long periods of time, even when you're looking for kills, and still can't find any. In another Battle Royale, Apex, there's tons of fighting, but there's much less players on the map and it's very easy to die since you can get third-partied pretty easily. This can be a positive or negative depending on your playstyle and if you want to fight a lot of people or not fight a lot of people, but Warzone has a great mix of both. When breaking down gunfights and skill, there's a lot to talk about. In terms of a skill gap, meaning a really bad player having the ability to kill a really good player who puts a lot of time in, is actually pretty low. In a game like Fortnite or Apex, the skill gap is much wider, making it hard for a really bad player to be able to kill a really experienced and good player. Some people argue the skill gap should be wider, but this makes it really easy for casual players to come in and actually enjoy the game even when they're not as good as the players around them. If you like sniping, Warzone is definitely the game for you since you can actually get a one-shot headshot and kill somebody. In games like Fortnite and Apex, you're not allowed to do this. In Warzone, you're allowed to do it in every game mode except ranked. Warzone has 2 major updates every few months. These updates come in sections, with the season update and then the mid-season update. These updates give us new guns, skins, and of course a battle pass. At the start of Warzone, there weren't many updates and the game was really lacking in content. Recently, they've been doing a great job at giving content for both DMZ and Warzone. In addition to getting tons of new content, there are also gun and balance changes. These changes help perfect the game, making guns that are too strong a little bit weaker and making guns too weak a little bit stronger. Of course, part of these updates, this actually includes bug fixes, which tend to be a huge problem in a game like Warzone. In my opinion, this is the worst part about Warzone, since the servers are so bad, it's just much less enjoyable sometimes and the bugs just get crazy out of hand, but they've been doing a good job fixing them. In this video, I broke down a lot of pros and cons about the game. I'm not going to tell you if it's good or bad, because of course I'm a little bit biased since this is my main game and what I enjoy playing. Hopefully this helped you think about if Warzone 2 is good or not, but make sure to spend time playing the game. Nothing is better than getting experience in the game and learning about it yourself.